One way to strengthen self-government is to make abuse harder to hide. Taking this action means skipping records that survive deletion and revision and denial, where documentation is power because oversight depends on evidence. Courts rely on filings, reporters rely on dated statements, legislators rely on written records, and when the record just disappears, accountability weakens? Again, euphemistic word, weakens. So you keep one timeline. You open a single Google sheet and add one entry per incident. You write the date, the event, and the issuing office. You paste the source link and an archived link. Logging one entry takes about 5 minutes, probably. And you keep it private with invited emails if you want, or publish a view-only link if you are willing. You save primary documents the day you see them. When a federal judge issues a temporary restraining order, you download the PDF from the court's docket, and you name it with a date first, type file name. Saving and naming a file takes a few minutes, and you store it in a private folder on your computer, or more ideally in a private cloud drive, or both, and you can share a read-only copy publicly when you want others to be able to access it. You can archive web pages that may disappear. You use the Internet Archive's Save Page Now tool and generate a permanent link. Archiving one page takes a couple of minutes as well, and that link is public by default. You save a PDF printout to your device, or actual paper, when you think that it's important to have private storage, which might just be always. Another thing you do is you preserve official statements. So when a governor or agency posts guidance on social media, you capture the post. You record the account and the name and the timestamp and the URL in your notes. Logging that entry, again, we're looking at a few minutes of time here, and you keep those notes private, or you can publish them, and the source link alongside some sort of a timeline. You can download key videos and preserve transcripts if they're available. And when an agency posts a press briefing, you save a local copy of that video. You copy the transcript into a text file and you date it to make sure that it's understandable that this video that happened on this date goes with this text file that was also created on this date. Now this can take a little longer, maybe about 10 minutes, depending on the video length. But you can keep the files on a local drive, or you can upload them to a public archive account when platform rules allow for it. Public ones anyway. But you can definitely back up everything offline with another person, especially. You copy the archive folder to an external USB drive if you want. You could do that once a week. You could give a trusted person read-only access to the cloud folder so they can keep their own copies. Right? They can make a copy and then comment or edit as they want from their copy. Hey folks, real quick, YouTube tells me that over 95% of folks who are watching these videos are not subscribed. If you enjoy these videos, could you please hit the subscribe button? It would help out a ton. All right, enjoy the video. Now, a weekly backup with this could take maybe 20 minutes, depending on the volume. But this step can stay private and keep things safe and secure. Deciding to keep records like this as part of your resistance effort. This fits people who have a few minutes, maybe a few times a week. It fits people who already follow court coverage for sure. I know that might be fewer and further between. Or if you follow agency announcements and want a record of what they see. This fits people who want private storage, for sure, who understand the importance of getting things secure in a physical place. It fits people who want to put something together under their name or as part of a group. And if you want to say, I'm keeping track of these things because this record will be important in the future. But you verify primary sources before you log them as fact, please. We don't need a whole mess of slop. And you download documents from official court or agency sites. That'll help clear that out a ton. And keep raw files that are unchanged, even if you change copies. Store edited clips, if you can, in a separate folder altogether. Keep one raw folder. And be sure to use strong passwords. This is the dad kicking in. For any of your shared folders, for sure. Yeah, right, but all of them, of course. And definitely, I know I mentioned read-only copies, but limit edit access as best you can, or as smartly as you can. And over time, all of this record keeping creates something durable. It allows events to become traceable and statements to remain preserved with dates and sources. Long-term accountability depends on records that survive. That's why it's important to have some group of people who take on record keeping as their primary task in this moment. It might seem like they're not out in the streets enough, they're not speaking out enough, but keeping a record in the way that I've described, that keeps up with the timeline, will become very important later on. We might have to wait for me to convince you that that's true. But if I need to convince you that this is true, then this is not the thing for you to do, and that's fine. We need different groups of people doing different things at the same time. That's where our power is going to lie, or one of the places our power will lie. But if this seems doable to you, pick something that is super important to you, something that you know how to access, something that you understand to some degree, and start capturing those records and logging them and keeping them. There's probably additional best practice guidelines out there, but you can just watch this video again and try to sort of set it up in the way as I've described, which will at least be a good starting point. And then maybe you can level up from there.